Standards for burden of proof. In San Andreas, we focus on three main burdens of proof to make an arrest. The first one is reasonable articulable suspicion, probable cause, and beyond a reasonable doubt. Reasonable articulable suspicion is defined as reasonable presumption based on facts or circumstances that a crime is, will be, or has been committed. Law enforcement officers are allowed to detain for a brief period to investigate based on reasonable suspicion. Detaining someone in this manner must be brief and conclude if the reasonable suspicion is proven unwarranted. On the other hand, the investigative stop may provide more information leading to probable cause. Reasonable suspicion allows you to frisk an individual as well as detain them for further questioning. As an example, we're going to be using a drunk driver. An example of reasonable suspicion would be witnessing a vehicle driving slightly erratically, swerving within the lane, speed changes, and slow response time from the driver of that vehicle. At this point, you have enough reasonable suspicion to begin a traffic stop on that vehicle. Probable cause is defined as a reasonable belief supported by circumstances, facts, and evidence sufficiently strong to justify a prudent person's belief that certain facts are probably true and that a crime occurred or is occurring. Probable cause is the minimum level on the burden of proof scale to be met in order to initiate an arrest or file a warrant. Probable cause allows you to search an individual as well as initiate an arrest. Going back to our drunk driver example, probable cause is determined by smelling alcohol on the driver, viewing an open alcoholic container, conducting a field sobriety test, issuing a breathalyzer test, and submitting them to a blood draw at a hospital to check their blood alcohol content. With some or all of these pieces of evidence, you now have enough probable cause to issue an arrest. Beyond a reasonable doubt is defined as the standard that must be met by the prosecution's evidence in a criminal prosecution, that no other logical explanation can be derived from the facts except that the defendant committed the crime, thereby overcoming the fundamental presumption that a person is innocent. As far as law enforcement officers go, the burdens of proof that we mainly have to deal with are reasonable suspicion and probable cause. Beyond a reasonable doubt is determined by the courts once enough probable cause has been given to the prosecution. Knowing the ins and outs of the standards of proof is crucial for proper law enforcement and to ensure that no liberties are wrongfully breached.